St. Cloud, Florida, this is the Phoenix Rising Radio Network.
There were gladiators and reenacted sea battles here until the 5th century.
Welcome to the Doc Show, coast to coast.
No, you can eat really cheap. You can get a 32-ounce beer for $5.
My concern is the profit that we could potentially make is going to be eaten up.
I wish I could go. Just go. Oh, yeah, because, everything's free down there. Holy
what did I get myself into?
Weeknights, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, boy, you really got your work cut out for you here. Let me tell you, that guy's a class act. I've been listening to him for 20 years.
But you better tip them, because, man, they get mad at you.
Look, I may not know anything about show business, but when you start sending out gifts to people who can do something for you, that's called bribery.
Give Doc a call, 407-498-3193.
I love standing there with binoculars and looking for Cubans. It's awesome. It's absolutely incredible.
Often imitated, never quite duplicated.
Who are you?
You won't find Palestine.
The old man is going to kill me.
And you won't find much Muslim stuff either.
This is the Doc Show, coast to coast, with Doc Holliday.
Okay. It had to be said. I want to thank Scandal from 1983 for the accompaniment of Goodbye to You. That was awesome. Goodbye. Goodbye. Well, they're not going to go without a fight, though. Barack's going to make sure he can still call his martial law, but it's not going to change the election. It's not going to change the election. And you know what? If you'd voted, you idiots, 100 million people, 200 million people didn't vote. Wow. And they could break it down by demographics, and they could break it down by where you live, and who voted for Obama, and then who didn't vote this time. I don't have any clue whatsoever why you even voted for Obama, but thank God this time around you smartened the hell up. If it took 8 years, then that's good enough for me. I don't know why it took you 8 years to smarten up, but now everything's going to go back to the way things need to be. And we can speak our minds, and ain't nobody coming to take no radio jobs or TV or steal the internet. The First Amendment stays because Donald Trump is going to pick the Supreme Court justices. Yeah. Okay, I'm done.
He needs to work on getting you some freaking health care.
I'm done.
Take a drink.
Wish I had a real one. So much was at stake.
I guess I was under the assumption that you would have calmed down after the election, being it's a good result, but
not when I see what's going on in America today. The assholes, the dumbasses, the people that didn't vote, the people that are angry, the people that are calling Trump a racist and calling for his impeachment, and some idiot that gets on TV, and of course the mainstream media putting them all on there.
I think you should watch a little Roku tonight, like Designated Survivor or something to calm down.
I like to watch my shows and I have a little beer. Relaxes me.
You're going to have a stroke.
I know, I'm dizzy.
Yeah, because you got crazy. Cray-cray.
I didn't go cray-cray. I just said...
It's so funny hearing you say cray-cray.
Goodbye to the people that Obama brainwashed, and goodbye to him. And I will make this statement, and if you want to call me a racist, you go ahead. But if you've got any sense whatsoever, you're going to know what I'm talking about. You have seen the last, and he's allegedly black, okay? He's not even really black. Democrat, liberal, with Muslim ties, ever, until the world falls apart. There'll never be another man anywhere allowed near that office. Sorry, I hear all your cries for Michelle Obama in 2020. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, no. She was the first. Well, yeah, so.
Michelle Obama in 2020.
She hasn't held a political office yet.
Well, neither did Donald.
No, that's true.
But no, because that just brings back the scum.
I wouldn't put it past them.
They can do whatever they want. They can nominate whoever they want. The Democrats don't have a viable candidate. Do you think that idiot...
but I will say this. Michelle is very adored by liberals, not like Hillary.
Well, I'm sure WikiLeaks will come to the rescue and let everybody know it's really a man.
I'm just saying that I would not put it past them. Number one,
I think Trump, if he keeps his word, will blow Michelle Obama out of the water.
Well, let's see what he can do. I mean, you're putting a lot of pressure on the guy, and it hasn't even been inaugurated yet.
Hey, let me tell you something.
Not you. I'm just saying in general, people are putting a lot of pressure on the fact that the man
said what he said.
You know, yeah, and that's fine. I mean, you should hold your political officials accountable. But, I mean, let's let the guy get into the White House. I mean, I had one question. Remember he said he wasn't going to take a salary?
That may be something he said. I don't know.
I wonder if he's going to take a salary. I mean, because he can't work.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you.
But I don't think he needs it.
As much money as he spent on his own money,
yeah,
I'd take the salary.
Yeah, but I don't think he really needs it. His kids are running the company. He's drawing revenue out of that. I mean, I don't know. He's a billionaire.
Bottom line,
what's $400,000? That's a drop in the bucket compared to billions.
Well, yeah, but we just had a president.
Not to me, but
we just had a president. 8 hellish years of lies and supporting terror and screwing the black man and getting them so angry that they hate the white man again and cops. And there were so many setups with gunfire, Muslims killing Christians during Christmas parties where nothing was done. That's not going to happen anymore. Let one of you son of a bitches come back to this town and think you're going to shoot up another one of our nightclubs. There's going to be a train out of this country, a gigantic boat, and I don't care if you knew him. I don't care. You're gone. We can't have people who go into mosques, because mosques, number one, you don't learn anything in there. Mosques are where the evil happens. You don't need a mosque. You ever? I know the Inmans or the Imans, whatever they call them. You ever heard one say, "Why don't you come to our mosque? Why don't you instead of being a bigot and don't like us Muslims, why don't you come on in? Because we're not welcome there." I made that mistake of walking into a mosque downtown Orlando that wasn't clearly, I thought, marked. And I was just looking for directions. And every one of them stood up and stared me down. And then nobody was in there praying, folks. And I said, okay. And I got the hell out of there and jumped in my car. And then a week later, they were out protesting. Something to do with September 11th. I don't know what it was. They killed our diplomats. And Hillary Clinton let it happen. Over in Benghazi. Killed them in a Muslim attack. Hillary hired the security. And you know what happened? The minute the attack started, the security that Hillary hired turned around and started shooting Americans. And you don't think she knew about that? Of course she did. Because Democrats lean to terror and Muslim terror. And that's why you all call me such bad names when I'd like to see every Muslim pull out of this country. That's really a Muslim that actually practices and reads the most hateful book that Satan ever wrote called the Quran. They say there's no such thing as a peaceful Muslim. There are people that don't practice. But they were born. When you're born to a Muslim father, by law, you're Muslim. Doesn't mean you have to practice it. There's plenty of them that do not. But there's more that do. And they're the problem. And we're going to deal with it. So you get to finish the show with your happy talk.
Jeez. Thank you.
People need to know.
Okay.
We're not putting up with this garbage that's going on in the streets like now, and all you Muslim protesters.
Crazy, what I'm about to say.
Crazy, I'll show you all crazy.
Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Here come bad news.
Okay, this is especially for you, Doc. So there are 15 things that you need to do to be happy. And there was a blogger who wrote an article a while back, and it's pretty much been going viral since she first released it. She claimed that there are 15 things that you need to do in order to truly be happy. Unfortunately, excuse me, not everything is an easy fix on the list. And some people think they're just not practical. But even if you can do one or two things, it might help. Now, I saw this one. This one is for you.
Okay.
Give up the need to always be right about stuff. It's okay to admit you're wrong sometimes because you know what? Everybody is, Doc. Everybody is.
I am actually one of the people that's not wrong all that much.
Okay. This one's for me. Stop trying to control everything. Because sometimes you just can't control things.
That is you.
That is me. I don't deny it. See? Don't blame other people all the time. Try to admit when something is your fault.
I always admit when something's my fault. I'm pretty good at that.
Okay.
I'm pretty good at that.
Try not to dwell on self-defeating thoughts. So
that's the hardest thing in the world to do.
I think that's for anybody. In other words, don't sit around thinking about how you might fail or coming up with reasons not to do things or I'm not pretty, I'm not smart, I'm not this, that. That's tough to do because I think we always question ourselves. Stop deciding things are impossible. Which, that's kind of like the last one. Don't be self-defeating.
But let me tell you, I know there are things that are impossible. I know like there are
climbing
things.
Mount Everest?
No, people have done it. They just freeze to death.
For you, though.
For me, I know right now, of course, that's an idiotic thing to say climb Mount Everest. I can tell you right now what's impossible for me at 8:46 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay.
I know it's impossible.
Okay.
You want me to tell you?
Sure.
Why bother? You already know what's impossible. If I said to you, man, I've had a rough night. How about some beer? There's not going to be no beer here. So I know that's impossible. So there you go. I know better than to ask. But boy, I tell you what, if y'all wanted to bring one to the station, man, you might save my life.
Hey, try not to complain too much. A little bit's okay, but too much isn't healthy.
I'm sorry, but everything I complained about tonight puts me on the right side of things. I'm on the right side.
And don't be overly critical. That's another one. Stop trying to impress everyone. You won't be happy if you're constantly worried about what other people think.
I don't try to impress anybody.
Stop trying to live up to other people's expectations, which is basically the same as trying not to impress people. Stop resisting change. Sometimes change is bad, but it's also inevitable. Sometimes change is good as well. Change is not always a bad thing.
Change sucks.
Change sometimes gives you opportunities that you wouldn't have had you not embraced the change.
But then again, I did have to change and understand that the future of television is streaming. And it's actually better than what you were getting on cable, or better what you would get on Dish, or a satellite dish in general. So it was something I never believed. But I said, it took a little while, but I embraced the change.
And don't get attached to things like your cable, because sometimes there'll be change that will give you a better deal for what you're doing. Try not to put labels on stuff. Most things are more complicated than that, and you should try to understand them better. And try to conquer your fears. Stop making excuses. And, this is one. Stop worrying about the past. It's okay to worry about the future and plan ahead, but try to be happy in the moment as much as you can. Because worrying about the past, you can't change the past.
Because at 8:46, I knew it was impossible to get a brew. But now at 8:48, I'm optimistic. Because change is good.
I just cooked for you.
What'd you cook?
Steak.
A real one?
What do you mean a real one?
I mean, I hadn't had a real steak in a year. Maybe two.
That's not true.
That is true.
You had one last month.
I didn't have
I got a deal and I separated them, and you had one last month. You ate on it for like 4 days. I guess you thought you were never going to see another steak.
No, man, I actually rationed that piece of meat.
I know you did. You made me feel like this big.
I didn't say anything. I just said, oh, man, thanks.
Anyway.
It's cool. But I knew only to take 2 bites per serving.
Seriously.
And change would be like, you know what?
Oh,
I know you deserve a beer. 3 minutes ago, I wouldn't do it, but I've changed my mind.
I'm in my pajamas.
Those aren't pajamas. You're wearing a Yankee jersey. You look good.
I look good?
That actually looks good on you.
Well, thank you.
There's some things
But
that...
I'm not wearing a bra.
This is St. Cloud, Florida.
Listen,
don't
get me started on St. Cloud, Florida.
How many people are running around right now that need a bra?
Why don't you go?
I'd go. I mean, hell, I danced when Trump won the presidency.
Why don't you ever say, just give me the keys, I'll go?
Well, I need more than the keys. I can't walk in when you want me to rob the place. Stick them up. Go ahead, stick them up. A little more than keys.
I'm telling you.
I'd go in a heartbeat.
Craziness. Crazy.
Because I know I can finally drive again because I danced when Obama won. And that means that I was even talking.
I want you to be happy like that. I don't like Grumpy Doc.
Well, see?
I don't like but
I cheered up.
But
maybe instead of watching...
That's the problem when that's what cheers you up.
It's not a problem. That's what you get when you judge people, and I'll bet that's on the list.
Actually, no. Judgment did not make the
Judging
list.
people should be on the list.
To make people happy?
Judging... No. Judging people...
We're talking about things that you have to do to make you happy.
By what makes somebody happy. So if beers... relaxes somebody and makes them happy, you shouldn't judge them and say, oh, you're drunk.
I didn't say you were drunk.
I know, I'm not. I can't afford it.
That's so sad.
But you know what?
That doesn't come across well. You know that, right?
Physically, my body is putting itself back together. And I'll be out of your hair.
What?
I'll be out of your hair.
What do you mean you'll be out of my hair?
Well, I mean, you've been, kind enough... lately you've been bitching and moaning about me, but, to let you help me get better. And now I'm not leaning on you as much. Mm-hmm. I used to, can you get me my pills? Can you fill my water up, please?
He's not lying.
I was too lame.
He's not lying.
I was in so much pain.
Are you breaking up with me?
We'll always have the radio show. No, it was just that I leaned on you, and then suddenly, just like the doctor said, at 6 months, and today is 6 months.
Yeah, it is.
When I had the surgery.
Yesterday, right? No, you're right. 6 months today.
6 months today. He said 6 months. And today, well, minus a small backache because Blue decided to sleep on my back. And I don't know why he was doing it.
He's Blue.
And other than that, I feel like my senses have come back to me. Mm-hmm. The depression lifted of feeling inadequate.
Okay.
And so I'm like, yeah, okay, he was right. And while I still have pain, I can look back now and say, oh, that's not the pain I had. Holy.
Guys, it sounds like Doc's breaking up with Bam Bam Sam.
I'm going to steal your car. You'll never see me again.
Can't do that.
But no, I just finally...
I'll call the popo.
I'm aggravated at what's going on in the world, but I'm more aware of it now. Before, man, it was just sometimes coming in here to do the show, it was such a burden on me. And that's so silly because doing a radio show is not a burden, it's a gift. Being able to express yourself, and you may not like what I just said a half hour, 45 minutes ago. You may. You may really been offended by that, and I hope you were. Because if I was talking to you and you were offended, I was looking forward to getting in here today. My attitude has kind of turned around, and it's the 6 month thing.
Okay.
I think when I danced, and I did, what was it? I did a pirouette.
You did a pirouette, yes.
I did a pirouette.
Yes, you did a
because
pirouette.
Trump won the candidacy the second it was called for Florida.
He did.
It was time to dance. I said, I'm going to throw my crutches down. I'm going to dance like nobody's looking. I don't have crutches.
There's a country song about that. It said, I hope you dance.
And
won't match.
I still have a limp, and there's still pain. But boy, I'll tell you, it's nothing. I laugh at it now. If I step hard on it, I laugh because before I would have been on the floor bleeding to death.
That's true.
That's how miserable and that's how inept that I was.
And when you have the doctor called you crippled.
Yes, he said, dude,
you were crippled.
I'm giving you a handicap sticker for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I said, all
well,
right.
I'm glad you're feeling better. I want you to be happy. I want you to enjoy doing this. I want you to enjoy life.
It was tough because I was hurting. And when I was hurting, it's like...
I want you to embrace society again.
Oh, I've embraced society. I'm telling society how to live. And that's my embracement of society. You people out there protesting, goodbye to you. You're not going to... You have no idea what this election of Trump is going to mean. We get America back. I hated Obama. I hated his dyke wife. I hated Hillary. The problem was I voted for Bill Clinton because I really liked him. He snowed me. When I found out what Bill really did, I was ashamed of myself. I voted for him in 1996.
What one thing are you referring to? Well,
okay, I knew about Monica. That didn't bother me.
I don't think it really bothered most people.
I mean, come on, it's a blowjob.
Yeah.
And if you think you're going to get away with it,
what bothered me
you'll get away with it.
What bothered me is that he skirted around the truth by using a play on words. That's all. And that just bothered me. You're the president of the United States.
I thought it was brilliant.
Anyway, what bothered you?
What bothers me now are the WikiLeaks. And those WikiLeaks are true, folks, and they're going to be used in court. What bothers me is this pedophile island that Bill would go to and have sex with underage girls, which is going to be testified to by the guy that ran it. Hillary went. Now, it bothered me about Bill. Okay, if you want to get a Hummer, and I thought Monica Lewinsky was attractive, and you can tell just by looking at her, she knew how to smoke a dick. Okay, because you could just tell. He didn't think anybody was going to know. There were no cameras in the Oval Office. And I said it on the air. I said, you guys, you're so full of it. Any one of you would have taken that chance if nobody was going to find out. Well, he found out. I think a lot of men found out, too. A lot of cheating stopped. You know? Because she was a sloppy giver. It spilled on her dress. Yeesh. And he didn't notice. You know, but as a president, the man was an amazing economist. And I know I said that word wrong.
Economist.
He was amazing. He zeroed us out. We didn't have this Obama $20 trillion debt. And he was good to people. And he Muslim terror, not Bill Clinton. Muslim terror paid for by Barack Obama. But when I found out that women were trying to accuse him, and Hillary was blocking him of rape, back before she lost her lawyer's license, and then he had the black kid, and they wouldn't release it, although Bill paid for the kid, because the kid was black, which made them racist, and I didn't think of Bill as racist. And I still don't think of Bill as racist. Hillary, very racist. And Chelsea doesn't know what the hell's going on. And so, yes, I became personally disappointed in Bill Clinton. You know? And then I thought, Jesus, but Al Gore wouldn't do that kind of stuff. I voted for Al Gore. And he lost that hotly contested. You think people are pissed about this election? You should talk to somebody like me, who voted in the Florida 2000 primary. Okay, and in the general election, and I voted for Al Gore. And Gore got the popular vote.
I don't remember who I voted for.
But George Bush, he got the right states. It was the closest election ever, and they had a recall.
Well, and that's the thing.
They can't recall this
those
because
that
it was
are protesting about it. They're saying, "Oh, well, you got the popular vote." It happened in 2012, and you guys didn't go batshit crazy.
Happened in 2000.
2000, I'm sorry.
And yes, they did go batshit crazy.
Yeah, but not like this. Not like
It was worse.
You think?
Yes, 2000 was worse. As a matter of fact, George Bush's limousine on Inauguration Day was attacked and eggs thrown at it. And, of course, it's bulletproof. And people were rounded up by the hundreds. And that's why Bush was popular after 9/11, but within 5 years, the war had gone on way too long for most Americans. He did win re-election. Well, that's because John Kerry, Herman Munster was running against him. Of course he was going to win. And then that's when people started hating Bush. Just because it had gone on too long, we were war-weary, we were sick of it. But the election, oh man, Al Gore, George W. Bush was the biggest upset, and you know they didn't have a winner for a month. Right now, you know Donald Trump is president. Didn't have a winner for a month. And you know what? And blacks were mistreated here in Florida by the state troopers. And it happened. And it happened. I was allowed to vote because I was white. And that made me feel sick. So, I'm done.
Okay. Don't forget to head over to our website, DocShowCoastToCoast.com, and subscribe to our new YouTube channel. You will be able to get to hear all of the wonderful shows of the Phoenix Rising Radio Network. And, just in case you missed it or you just want to hear us again, it's all good. And, of course, Doc and I will be back tomorrow morning at 7. Yeah, well, we'll be back at 7 o'clock. What?
Just say 7 o'clock.
Yeah, we'll be back at 7 o'clock.
All right, because Alex...
I need some more coffee to get through this.
After the greatest music of all time, Alex Jones at 3, we'll be back in at 7. That's the simple way to say it.
I'm telling you, 7, 3, and 7. 737. Oh, there you go. We're a 737 bunch.
Well, then play it in the lotto. But, anyhow, I'm not grumpy.
Okay.
I just can't believe how stupid. Do you know that half of America are slack-jaw, drooling assholes? Half this country. Slack-jaw, drooling, uninformed, liberal assholes, which makes them worse. And it's kind of crazy to think about. And they're now calling for death. The lives that we live, I'm reading a poster, they will end one day. Maybe this is the day. The protesters are calling for murder. They're going to find out that they're the ones going to get murdered. Somebody pulls a gun out at a cop, it's over. People are going down. And you deserve it. And you're going to blame Trump for your stupidity. You know, you can blame Obama because he hijacked you. But in the end, it was your stupidity that made Obama the smartest man to ever hold the office. When he was screwing you. When we're going to have our first woman president, she couldn't give a damn. She could have cared less. That's your fault. Because you let Hillary get in your head. Don't blame Hillary. Blame your own stupidity. And with those nice words, have fun listening to the music.